here for CAA football, the Blitz, as we continue.
And he may go the distance. Terrence
You're going to put yourself in a situation and win a lot of football games.
Week number 10 of the CAA football season is fast approaching, and the Blitz is here to get you ready as we approach the home stretch of the regular season and turn the calendar to November. Scott Meyer, I'm Bobby Broyles, here trying to avoid Hurricane Sandy right now as this storm could affect a lot of preparations for critical matchups this weekend, Scott.
I know, as we come down the stretch, there's certainly a lot of critical matchups, and as Hurricane Sandy approaches the East Coast, a number of our teams trying to take into preparation their schedules, schools being closed and that kind of thing. How each team handles that is going to play a part in games this Saturday. You know, Delaware and Towson meeting up, both of those teams affected greatly by the storm. William and Mary, no school on Monday, kind of affecting preparations, and then Old Dominion even doing a little bit of research in advance of the storm coming to make sure they were prepared for their trip come Georgia State.
Well, as our teams hunker down for an odd week of preparation with the weather, we will get you ready for week number 10 around CAA football. But first, let's take one more look back at last week's highlights and your players of the week.
Playoff implications were on the line in front of a national audience on the NBC Sports Network as the 20th-ranked Delaware Blue Hens head to Norfolk to take on the 6th-ranked Old Dominion Monarchs. Delaware would strike first as quarterback Tim Donnelly in for Trent Hurley fires across the middle, and Michael Johnson makes an incredible one-handed snag for the touchdown. Blue Hens take the early 7-0 lead. Old Dominion would answer on the next drive as quarterback Taylor Heineke takes off up the middle of the Delaware defense for the 22-yard touchdown run, all tied up at 7. Early in the second quarter, Hurley back in the game at quarterback for the Blue Hens. He would find his man Mike Milburn across the middle for the touchdown. Delaware back on top 14-7. ODU would strike right back as Heineke fakes the handoff and takes it in himself for his second rushing score of the game to tie the game at 14. Monarchs looking to take the lead before the half, trailing by 3 as Heineke once again takes it in from a yard out for his third rushing touchdown of the half. ODU heads into the locker room with a 21-17 lead. Third quarter, Monarchs looking to extend their lead as running back Tyree Lee takes the handoff and goes right up the middle for the score. ODU now with the double-digit lead up 28-17. Blue Hens rallying in the fourth, down by 8 as Hurley throws his second touchdown pass of the game, this time to Nigel White. UD would fail on the 2-point conversion and now trails by 2. Last chance for the Blue Hens, down 31-26 with less than a minute to go as Hurley looks across the middle and is intercepted by Devon Simmons. That would seal it for the Monarchs as they improved to 7-1 on the season with a 31-26 victory over the Blue Hens, who fall to 5-3. Another pair of nationally ranked teams squaring off now as the Villanova Wildcats entertain the Towson Tigers with postseason aspirations again on the line. Villanova would get on the board first as quarterback John Robertson hits running back Kevin Monungai on the screen pass, and he scores from 33 yards out to give the Wildcats a 7-0 lead. Towson would then score 14 unanswered points, beginning with a 40-yard touchdown burst down the sideline from running back Terrence West, which was followed by an 18-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Grant Enders to wide receiver Tom Ryan to give the Tigers a 14-7 lead. Tied up at 14 late in the first, as Towson would reel off 14 unanswered points again as Enders finds West on the rollout as he gets a couple of blocks and takes off for 78 yards for his second touchdown of the game. Then Enders would throw his third touchdown pass in the second quarter as he connects with Daniel Vaughn from 14 yards out to put Towson up 28-14. Villanova would rally with a pair of touchdowns by rookie signal caller Robertson as he goes in untouched from 5 yards out to cut the Tiger lead to 7, and on the next possession throws a perfect pass to Joe Price in the corner of the end zone to tie the game once again 28-28. Towson looking to take the lead before the half as Enders throws a beautiful lob pass to receiver Spencer Wilkins as the Tigers regain the lead and head into intermission up 35-28. Villanova would tie things up coming out of the half. Robertson, off play action, finds a wide open Ernest Petway for his fourth touchdown pass of the game to square the score at 35. But that Towson offense proved too much for the Wildcats in the third quarter as the Tigers began to put this game away. Terrence West would score his third touchdown of the game, this time from 4 yards out, to give the Tigers the lead. Then next Towson drive, Enders uses his legs and finds daylight up the middle of the Villanova defense, taking it all the way from 40 yards out to give the Tigers a 14-point lead as Towson would go on to win their first road game of the season with a 49-35 win over the Wildcats. Offensive Player of the Week goes to Towson quarterback Grant Enders, who turned in a career day throwing for 269 yards and a career-best 4 touchdowns. The senior also ran for a career-high 122 yards, including a 40-yard touchdown run to lead the Tigers to their first road win of the season with a 49-35 win over Villanova. Defensive Player of the Week goes to New Hampshire cornerback Dontre Peters, who forced a pair of turnovers that led to scores in the Wildcats' 40-20 win over Rhode Island. The senior's 2 forced turnovers included an interception in the end zone and a forced fumble inside UNH territory. Special Teams Player of the Week goes to James Madison linebacker Brandon Lee, who blocked a Panther punt early in the second half and returned it 3 yards for his first career touchdown in JMU's 28-21 win over Georgia State. Rookie of the Week goes to Villanova quarterback John Robertson, who racks up his 5th league honor of the fall after throwing for 216 yards and a career-high 4 touchdowns, while also tacking on a 5-yard rushing score for 5 total touchdowns in the Wildcats' loss to Towson.
We begin this week's preview down in Newark, a nationally televised game between 2 rivals as the Delaware Blue Hens entertain the Towson Tigers in a possible playoff elimination game.
It is going to be a playoff elimination game, and you take a look at this matchup, it has almost turned into a rivalry, just given Towson's recent success in Delaware, always on the scene there at the end of the season. Towson, 4 losses already, kind of playing their way into the playoffs. They have to keep winning. Delaware has that win against Westchester, which hurt them last season in finishing 7-4. So that's the kind of things that we're looking at in terms of playoffs. And Andrew Pierce being out for Delaware, how's that shape their run game? And then Towson, go back to Villanova, their game Saturday, and what that was able to create for them in terms of momentum. I think Grant Enders played a phenomenal game, Player of the Week honors, but look for him to be more in tuned in the game plan and to start making some plays, getting Towson to that playoff push.
Then at 3:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Regional Networks, it will be the nationally ranked JMU Dukes, who have really struggled the last couple of weeks, especially on the offensive end. Now have a new freshman quarterback behind center in Michael Birdsong. Visit Maine, who is coming off a win at William & Mary, and they're very dangerous at home.
It is going to be quite the matchup. I think you look at Michael Birdsong, what he was able to do against Georgia State, made some good plays, made some mistakes like a freshman would. I think Coach Matthews wants to see some progress out of that. He also wants to see his team play a full game. In recalling Georgia State, he thought his teams may have stopped playing once it was 28-7, and Georgia State is not the kind of team that's going to lay down for you. Maine is not going to be the team that's going to lay down either. Look back at last year's game, the win and the fashion that they did it in with the helicopter play making national headlines. Maine is going to test James Madison's defensive secondary in terms of the passing game. If they shut off strength or lengthening the field, they go to the dump passes and the screen passes. So how James Madison responds to that is going to be the key in this game.
Now here's a look at the rest of this Saturday's lineup around CAA football. Fans, remember to log on to CAAfootball.com for all the latest information going on around the league. Also, we want all of our fans watching the show this week, especially up and down the East Coast, to stay safe and wish you the best during this storm. Enjoy the game Saturday, and once again, stay safe out there.